Think you're ready to get in number two?
That's not my decision. I wish it was, but I'm just ready to go out and play whenever they call my name.
Were you surprised when they traded for Kenny?
Was I surprised? Howie did a great job of communicating. I think they do a really good job of communicating. They told me that they were going to bring in another quarterback, and we were going to compete. And so that was the message that I got. And Kenny's been a great teammate, and we're going to continue to compete for probably the whole year.
Is Tanner outplaying Kenny?
I thought they both did some good things today. Kenny was 11 to 13. Ball only hit the ground twice, but he had some pressure on him. Tanner played well. I think he was 15 to 19 today, but made some good throws. I thought Will did some good things. I'm happy they're all on the roster right now, and I really am. That's a good room, and they're all helping Jalen. They're all helping each other, and I love that.
Yeah, easy.
How'd you feel second game in the offense?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I know we were rotating a lot of guys tonight too, so we got to play with a bunch of different, people, a bunch of different groups were in there. Continuing to work the operation. I don't think we were as clean as we would like to be. I think we were probably better and smoother at that point in the first game. So that's something this week that we're definitely going to have to iron out for the third game.
There was a fair amount of pressure. Was that just because you said there were different groups?
Yeah, I think they were moving guys around, and I think they had their top guys in there for a while too, and that's a great opportunity for us, twos and threes, and a bunch of guys that are trying to make this team to go out there and compete against the best that they have. So, a lot of good, and definitely there's some bad that we can learn from, and take what it is and move on.
You're completing a high percentage of passes, but the yards per attempt haven't been great. Is there a reason for that? Is just the play's not developing the way?
We had some shots called. They were covered up, and I ended up checking it down. We got good gains there. Besides that, just taking the completions that are there, and trying to move the offense. Those big plays will come sooner or later. Just got to continue to throw them. Throw them in practice. I thought on what we practiced on Tuesday. We hit a couple down the field, which was great. So it's just if they're there, we'll take them. If not, just continue to move the ball down the field.
Obviously, the Eagles traded you to be the number 2 guy, but Tanner's been getting some of the reps in the twos. How do you view that competition now?
Yeah, I think it's just, they're continuing, like I said, kind of mixing groups up and just letting guys play with different groups. Just taking it a day at a time and continuing to put good tape out there, continue to play well, and progress with the offense.
Anything else?
Cool. Thanks, guys.
What's going on?
Do you have questions for Drake? Dan Roach. Drake, just your thought on getting more snaps, and Jacoby just was saying, and the McCourty twins, that you got to get a better celebration when you go into the end zone for a touchdown.
I didn't really plan on a rushing one. I probably should have thought of one. Usually, in college, I did the finger roll, but I was just happy to get in the end zone. Happy to score points. I think, it's fun to get out there. I'm glad the weather held off, and other than that, I thought the guys did a good job. I thought up front they fought hard. Just little things, me getting the snap. I think we had a false start. Just kind of little things that we're preaching over and over operationally that we got to clean up, and ultimately cost us part of the game. So.
Drake, much has been said about you only got one series last week. How much are you looking forward to breaking down at least 2 quarters of a game tape going forward?
Yeah, I think it's an awesome opportunity. I think definitely some things I can clean up. Had some good things, had some bad plays. I said the drop snaps, inexcusable for me. And other than that, probably just sometimes I feel like I'm scrambling when I can probably sit in there and hang on and try to make a throw. So definitely a lot of things to learn from. Good to get out there and, like you said, get some tape to learn from. But other than that, I thought the guys fought. I think we played hard. You can't, you can look at a lot of things, but one thing you can't question is our effort, and that it really starts it all.
Gerard had mentioned earlier this week that just between joint practice and this game, it could be good for building your confidence. I'm just wondering where your confidence is now after tonight.
Yeah, I think every time you get out there, I think you kind of get more and more confident. First off, it's always going to be the nerves, going out there, running out there the first time. But other than that, I think, the more reps, I think it's only going to help me. And at the end of the day, I'm just, fortunate to be able to get out there and get some reps and try to make the most of my opportunities.
Drake, how did this week feel compared to last week when you were out there?
Yeah, I think definitely the joint practice helped. I think being able to face the team in practice before you play them in a game is always a huge help, especially seeing different looks and hey, if they do this, you're thinking this, just kind of some really like answers to the test before we take the test. But I think some plays that helped us, and also sometimes you can kind of scheme up each other off of practice. But they're a good football team. I think they're a strong contender in the NFC, and I think it was a good chance for us to learn from it and look at the tape, and especially offensively, just clean up the little things operationally and make sure you run the right route, getting the snap. A lot of those things kind of they may not notice them from y'all, but they add up and can trickle down to in this league the margin of error.
Hey Drake. On your touchdown, you're on the field with 5 other rookies from this class. Just wondering how special of a moment was that to be on the field with those guys, and what's it been like gelling with that group?
Yeah, it's an awesome moment. We always spend a lot of time in here in the rookie meetings. During the spring, it was just us, so it was definitely cool having those guys out there. I think one of the first things I did was I chest bumped JP, so just cool to be out there with some of the guys that are in the same spot, going through the same thing, and fun time for us. That moment I'll probably never forget.
Drake, there's a third down completion you had to Javon that I just wanted to ask you about. If you could just walk us through what you saw in that play. It looked like you came to it backside.
Yeah, not to get into too much defense. They rolled down a safety and took away the options, and I feel like coming backside, had an in cut that I think I missed in practice this week that I probably could have thrown. So like I said, just learning from practice, try to translate it to the game.
Drake, we were talking with Jacoby, and he mentioned that after the touchdown, you got a bit excited and sort of lost track of the ball for the first touchdown. Did you end up finding out what happened to the ball from the touchdown run?
Yeah, my guy Dev and the equipment, shout out those guys. They got it and taped it up. So, pretty cool deal.
Hi, Drake. One thing that's been talked about a lot tonight is your composure. I was just wondering if you could talk us through if that's always been a part of your game or how you feel that's kind of developed as you've kind of gotten into the NFL.
Yeah, I think our job as a quarterback not to get too rattled. Try to stay cool and calm and collected over there, and especially on the sideline. Sometimes I tend to throw my helmet or something. Little things like that can kind of go a long way with just kind of your guys and how they're feeling and kind of setting the tone. So try to stay cool, calm. I probably need to get a little more excited when good things happen. My parents always get on me, say I don't show enough emotion when good things happen. But at the same time, you can't just ride the highs and you can't get them down in the lows. So just trying to stay kind of even keel.
Drake, it looked like they were putting you in concepts that maybe you used in college. There was a lot of shotgun, empty, zone read stuff. How much did that help you get comfortable? And did you discuss that with AVP in terms of concepts that you're familiar with and comfortable with?
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about this offense with what AVP does. We do a lot of different things. We can spread it out and empty. We can get 12 personnel, 13 personnel run the football. So we do a lot of different things. We got keepers. We got kind of the whole 9 yards. So I think a lot of the stuff that kind of translates from college, other than getting in the huddle and using the cadence, it all translates. So I think that's a good point. And also we go through kind of a list of plays we like before we're going out there. We're not just going out there, just kind of not knowing what's going on. So we got a little bit of idea of it's third and medium. I think this call's coming. This is what I told him I liked. So. He does a great job of kind of understanding our feedback, from all 4 of us, and just kind of calling what we like. So that's an awesome kind of way for us to connect. Awesome, thank you.
Man.
It's Mckee the starting right guard.
Yeah, we still have some time to think through some things, and we're going to have some really good physical practices next week. Almost some operational things, some different things like that, and we'll see. No reason to say anything one way or the other right now because we're still working through it, and we'll see.
Is Dean's ankle the same one that he had injured?
I actually haven't got with the medical guys yet, so I don't know. I don't know how he's feeling yet. We'll get that information to you guys.
Is Tanner outplaying Kenny this morning?
I thought they both did some good things today. I think. Kenny was 11 to 13. Only hit the ground twice. He had some pressure on him. Tanner played well. I think he was 15 to 19 today. But made some good throws. I thought Will did some good things. I'm I'm happy they're all on the roster right now, and I really am. That's a good room, and they're all helping Jalen. They're all helping each other, and I love that. So it really is a good room. And like I said, the things that kind of stalled some of the drives in the first half today was some of the pressures that we got. And we didn't run it great in that area either for some different reasons that we'll obviously look at and why. So, no, I thought they both played a solid game tonight. It just some of the pressure that was on Kenny happened in that first half.
Is it accurate to say that that Tanner's doing more to make it more competitive than Kenny's doing less?
Again, like I said, I think they're both doing a nice job. I think Tanner made some really nice throws down the field today with some good anticipation. And I'll have to look at the tape of what happened. But they both had good practices through to the state. I thought they both played solid today. Now I'll have to watch the tape to see exactly what happened. It's really hard to kind of say exactly. I don't remember any plays that I felt like. Kenny made. I'm like, oh man, that was detrimental, right? Obviously, you go back, or with Tanner either that they made. I didn't have any of those notes down like that, but I thought they both played well within the scheme, and I thought they both did some nice things.
Was that a competition, or is Pickett the number?
Kenny, you saw where they went in today. Kenny's our number 2. Tanner's our number 3, and I'm really happy that those guys are both on the roster.
Tanner had a good preseason last year too, and. My opinion, I thought he had a good camp. We don't get to see practice during the regular season. Like, how did he play
during camp, during regular season in practice? Yeah, he did some good things. Now, I think with Marcus last year, Marcus was taking more of the reps, but Tanner got some as well. And then you have developmental periods. So our job as coaches is to provide as much opportunity as we possibly can for guys to develop that aren't getting reps in game. And we'll continue to try to do that to continue to grow these guys in what they do. And I thought Tanner did a nice job last year with the reps that he got in practice, developing himself. As you can see, he's having another nice training camp and preseason games.
What factored into the decision not to play any of the offensive starters?
We had 89 plays against New England. It was a long practice. It was a physical practice. We had some good one-on-one reps also. And I felt like we 2 days, when you play 2 days beforehand, like when you practice on Friday, let's take us to a season, you practice on Friday, then you play on Sunday, right? That Friday practice is, short, fast, and we like to say, make sure we're paying attention there on Fridays, make sure we're completely locked in on Fridays, focus Friday. Some people call it fast Friday. And that's by design to make sure that your guys are ready to go on Sunday. Well, it's the same, when you have that long of a practice, which is more like a Wednesday, really even a longer Wednesday practice, and a really physical practice like it was. I just thought it was a really physical practice because I think New England's a really physical team. That's not enough rest, in my opinion, to put those guys back out there. And they got enough work in that area. We'll do some things next week to simulate that again, even though we're not practicing against anybody, and we'll see how that goes with whether we play them or not next week. But that's what went more into the decision to not play them. As far as the defensive guys that played, Bryce, the linebackers, Devin and Zach, and we just felt like they needed reps with it. They needed an additional reps, and we weren't planning on playing them long. They didn't. I think they're all kind of right 10, 12, 14 somewhere in their plays. You guys would know that better than I would, but that was our plan to kind of get them that amount of reps, just because they're new to the team, new to the system. Zach Bond new to that position a little bit as well. So we really wanted to get them reps, and that's why those particular guys played.
In the case of Mckee, he came out and went back in. What was the reason for that?
Yeah, you never want to put in we wanted to get Will some reps. Will's earned some reps. Will's done a nice job. I think Will's great for the room. I think he's a great pro. You can tell he's done this a long time, and we wanted to give him an opportunity to go out there and play. Sometimes it's hard, if you put a quarterback in, and it's a 2-minute drive, and your first snaps are a 2-minute drive. Those are tough situations sometimes, or it's a 4-minute drive. Like you don't know what the situation is. So our plan all along was to play Tanner the first two series in the second half, let Will go, and then put Tanner back in. So we didn't put Will in a weird spot, right? And then Tanner could still be in a flow of coming out of halftime and going. And so that's what went into that. And I was again, I thought Will did a really nice job leading a drive down the field when we had been stalling out a little bit in certain areas. And he did a nice job completing passes and moving the ball. And I was really pleased with how he played.
What was your evaluation of Jalen in the joint practice?
Yeah, I thought he was really on top of it. Really on top of his checks, really on top of some of the unique things that the New England was doing, and I really liked his performance. A lot to be confident about with how he practiced on what's today, on Tuesday. Yeah.
You mentioned Huff. Did he show you anything from a run defense perspective tonight?
Yeah, I think he just continues. He's just going to continue to get better within our scheme. He's a good football player, right? And it's just learning a new scheme, learning some different things that we're asking him to do. Different techniques, and he's just going to, guys like that he works his butt off, and he wants to be great. And so guys like that are just going to keep getting better with the reps that he gets, and that's why we wanted to get him some reps tonight.
In following up on Jeff's question,
You got a lot of questions. You're getting a lot of questions today.
The joint practices, how do you feel you came out of those as a team?
Yeah, we can talk later about what I think the right amount is, this and that. I have different feelings about it. Probably after every time you go through it, you're like, this is the perfect amount, this and that. But I thought it was really good. Again, I really, Coach Mayo and his staff, unbelievable hosts. We got good work in, good clean work in, where you really, you won't have to blow the whistle all the time with different, fights or anything like that. You were able to just really and it was physical. I mean, it was a physical practice. And so, man, I was really pleased, and I'd love to do this again. I said that to Coach Mayo after the game. Let's do this again next year. I don't believe we play the AFC East next year, but I said to him, let's do this again next year, because that was really good work. And so I'm a big believer in the joint practices. Because you can really get good work against different teams, different schemes, different players. And so you're not going against the same person all the time, and it's good. It's 89 plays is a good chunk there of work.
A year ago, you said you regretted not playing the starters in the preseason. It seems like that's what's going to happen here. What's different this year, especially with you're putting in a new scheme?
Yeah,
offensively.
I don't remember, and you would. Again, you're saying I said regret it, and yeah, do you have it like that? And so, and I maybe whether really what I probably should have said if I didn't say this is I would always reconsider, right? And always going to reconsider things, and we'll see what happens next week as far as our plan to play anybody. But again, if you think about when you play it, like last week, I'm not even going to get into all that, but like I always will consider everything's always on the table. And each year is a different year. All right. For me to answer anything for next year, or probably last year, even, answering for this year, wasn't smart on my behalf. So every year is a new set of challenges. Every year is new circumstances. Every year, everything's always on the table of what you want to do and what you think you do to. The main goal is to get your guys ready to go week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I'd say we've started these last 2 years pretty hot off the starting 8-0 I believe 8-0 in 22 and 5-0 last year before we lost. So like the main goal is to make sure we're winning that first game and we're ready for that first game and to continue to build off that first game. So you want to look as pretty as you possibly can, as far as clean as you possibly can that first game, because clean football is what helps you win that first game. But the main goal at the end of the day is to score more points than the other team.
Is there a player or two that you feel has really improved from last year to this year?
Yeah, I will single somebody out. I think Fred Johnson is continuing to develop as a really solid football player. He works his butt off. He's a big man, right? You see that, and it's hard to get around him. and he just continues to put the work in that he needs to put in to develop at his position. And I'm really pleased with how Fred has worked, and his toughness and just his ability to improve each day, and you can see that, and so I'm happy that you asked me for a guy. That's that guy I'll single out right there, and I'm proud of Fred of all the work that he's put in to get himself to where he is right now.
Thanks, guys.